Would you like to learn which winning altcoin has earned the title of Super Altcoin, that has 1000x potential and takes on the crypto market as an asset class of its own? My name is the Suppoman, your superhero of 100 to 1000x gains. If anybody could be called an expert, it's me. Over 50 100x cryptocurrencies in all my time on YouTube. So if you love content like this, make sure you smash a like on this video. If we get to 5,000 likes, I will be giving 3 people in the comments $1,000 of this super altcoin. And make sure that you subscribe, and if you subscribe, leave me a comment to say I have subscribed and I would like this super altcoin so I know who to give it to. The crypto market has been rocked by Donald Trump's upcoming tariff announcement, and as a result most cryptocurrencies are in the red, with Bitcoin having been at $118,000 in the last week, now at 112, prolonging the pain of waiting for the next altcoin season. It has now been 238 days since the last altcoin season, and the average is normally 66 days. And to be honest, the longest streak without a season has been during bear markets. So given that we have gone nearly 4x that time without an altcoin season, means that when an altcoin season happens, that suppression of bullishness is going to come out in a huge flood. And my personal opinion is we are going to see the euphoria stage in 2025, and it's going to be violent. Red is an altcoin season, orange is a Bitcoin season, and green is basically in between. And what we have seen over time is that Bitcoin has been increasing in dominance. And what we have seen since 2022 is a huge amount of Bitcoin seasons and hardly any altcoin seasons. And given the production of altcoins per day, there is a huge amount of sideline bullishness just waiting to express itself, and I believe it's coming soon. So what cryptocurrency do I believe is a super altcoin, is a micro-cap cryptocurrency, and has the potential to outperform all of these coins? As usual, nothing I say is to be construed as financial advice. Crypto is largely unregulated and high risk, and people who invest should be prepared to lose all their money. And everything I say to you in this video is for informational and educational purposes only. DowJ is the only ever super meme coin and falls into a very rare category of super altcoin. And the most preposterous thing is that this cryptocurrency is only $43 million market cap. And as a result of being not only a super meme coin, but a super altcoin, this has the potential to be, just like the only other cryptocurrency like it in its class, this has the potential to go into the trillions. So what is DowJ, DJI6930? Well, first of all, the mission of DowJ is to flip the Dow Jones. Dow Jones is an American stock market index of 30 of the most successful US companies. Now, the total market cap of the Dow Jones is $20 trillion. If DowJ were to flip the Dow Jones, that would be a multiplier of 465,000x. So already you can see that DowJ has an incredibly high ceiling of which to make multipliers. Now, if it was to achieve 10% of the target of flipping the Dow Jones, that would mean a 46,000x. If it was to achieve just 1%, then that would be 4,600x, and 0.01% would be 465x. So the fact that DowJ has such a gigantic memetic ceiling means that the opportunity for multipliers are vast. There are only a couple of cryptocurrencies that have a delusional and ambitious financial target, and those two cryptocurrencies are in the billions of dollars. That are $43 million. DowJ has insane upside potential, particularly in the context of the fact we are not in an altcoin season, but also this is going to be the euphoria stage. The euphoria stage is the top of the market, and where I believe we are is probably somewhere around about here. So that means the upside potential is gigantic from here, and that upside momentum could take DowJ to serious billions from here. But not only is DowJ chasing an incredibly ambitious target, but DowJ means more than just your average altcoin. DowJ is a movement just like the Me Too, feminism, Black Lives Matter. It is a rebellion against the top 1% of society. The top 1% control wealth and they control culture. So because Dow has 15,000 hodlers, they are not chart watching, they believe in flipping the Dow Jones, and as a result of that, connect people. What we've got is too much division in society between the genders, between the races. You only have to look on social media everywhere that it's men versus women and races versus other races. The amount of racism that I see is hideous, but it exists because the top 1% of society create that division. So regards to men versus women, it's much better for the 1% to benefit if there are more people in the workplace, if there are two incomes coming into the home. So they teach women to be independent and tell them that they need to be going out to work, and as a result they do. And they believe they don't need men. And they're brainwashed by the 1%, and they don't even realise it because women are responsible for most of the debt. And I'm not looking to offend any women, but they just are. So therefore, culture wants to appeal to them, wants them to be buying stuff, wants them to be materialistic. And as a result of that, it caused a big spiritual chasm that exists in society today. So flipping the Dow Jones is not just about the wealth gap, okay? So there is a huge wealth gap between the baby boomers and silent generation with millennials and Gen Z, right? So millennials and Gen Z, they can't get on the property ladder, they don't own anything, and there's a huge disparity between them and the richest of society that do own all of that stuff and want to keep future generations poor. So where Dow comes in is it breaks the spell. By having a crypto that actually flips the Dow Jones, all the holders that believe not only in flipping the Dow Jones and getting to that high ceiling, but also believe in a better society, in destroying the power of those that control society, then they will get rich. So Dow is one of the most significant societal, spiritual, mental health, cultural, belief and movement cryptocurrencies that has ever existed. It is more major than pretty much every cryptocurrency that exists, and definitely every meme coin. So what makes a super meme coin? Well, basically it all comes down to the narratives. One of the reasons why Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum and other major layer ones have become the biggest and highest valued cryptocurrencies of all time is because they're multi-narrative. The more narratives that attract money, the greater that cryptocurrency is. Now, why I believe DowJ is a super meme coin is as follows. Because it has got multiple narratives that will attract money during altcoin season. Now, I'm going to use as an example all of the meme coins that are major meme coins to illustrate to you how DowJ differentiates from all of them. So first of all, Dogecoin. Doge is basically a dog mascot, and that is it. It produces meme content on the Doge dog, and that is it. And to be honest, the only reason this one is the most valuable is because it has been around the longest. Shiba, exactly the same. Pepe, the same. Now, Pudgy Penguins, probably two narratives, because this started out as an NFT, and it's also a brand. The Pudgy Penguins brand is already in partnership with Walmart and Toys R Us and potentially way more toy outlets to get Pudgy Penguins into the hands of kids. So that means that Pudgy Penguins has got two narratives that it serves. Bonk, I would say arguably probably two narratives. Again, this is a dog mascot, but also is a launchpad cryptocurrency with Let's Bonk. So this has very recently become more valuable as a meme coin. Donald Trump, well, he is iconic because he has been the center of meme coins that have been made in the past, and he's the president of the United States. But really, he serves one angle, and that is as a mascot. SPX6900. Now, I would say that this one actually represents two. So, this is a meme coin with a TradFi angle. This is looking to flip the SPX500, which, in addition to the Dow Jones, is another American stock market index. Now, these guys are really TradFi. They have no mascot, so it's not really a meme coin as such. Yes, they do produce meme content, but they have not got a meme mascot, which doesn't make them as normie friendly. But why this has a second narrative is because it's a movement coin. Flocky, again, a mascot. Pump.fun, I would say this is one single narrative. Because Pump.fun really was a launchpad for meme coins, right? And that's it. But they just decided to tokenize the platform, which is fine. But it's very, very one-dimensional. Same as Fartcoin. It's just absurd. It's got an absurd name. Does nothing more than that. Dog with hat, again, another mascot. Brett. I would say this has probably got two narratives, because Brett is not only a mascot of the boys club, just like Pepe is, but is a base narrative as well. Mog, again, there has been a big dog narrative in the past bull markets. This is the first time that cats have had their own narrative. So therefore, this is what gives it value. And same for Popcat. But again, they're just one-dimensional. Mew is exactly the same. Troll. This one has blown up in the past couple of weeks. But again, it's just a very established meme. Okay? So just like Doge is a traditional meme, so is Troll. Okay? Troll has been around for decades. So as a result of that, yes, it's a meme character, but it's one-dimensional. It doesn't trade off anything else but the mascot. Giga Chad, I would say, is partially a mascot, partially a lifestyle brand. As a result, that goes into two narratives. Housecoin, this one is a meme coin, but also RWA. So therefore, two narratives. The DowJones, you can't actually invest in the DowJones. It doesn't really come here as an example, but this is showing you what Doge is coming up against. Doge is coming up against an index full of various different narratives. Software, hardware, AI, animations, drinks, and also kind of retail. If you could invest in just the DowJones and not everything else, then this would be a multi-narrative asset. And that's what Doge is. But you can't invest in it, but I'm using it here as an example of what would constitute a super asset. Then we've got XRP. Now, XRP, this is not a meme coin, right? But this is showing you how Doge takes on everything. And so we can't just put memes in that category. So XRP is a layer 1, but it actually does allow you to invest in other narratives. And as a result of that, this therefore is multi-narrative. Okay, this is a reason why Cardano is also multi-narrative, a layer 1, and it's got a ton of different assets that belong on those chains. Hyperliquid, very overvalued cryptocurrency that serves one purpose, it's DeFi. Sui, just like Cardano and XRP, is multi-narrative. So just like Solana in the last bull market, the reason why that did a mega multiplier is simply because it really hosted a load of narratives that then that value went back into the layer 1. So these are all multi-narratives. Chainlink, this is RWA and DeFi, it's two narratives. Near, this should be a 3-narrative coin, but it isn't, because they have really badged themselves as AI. So as a result of that, they're layer 1 and AI, so they go in two narratives. Ondo, one narrative, which is RWA. Casper, again, now they've got smart contracts. I would say Casper probably goes into 3 narratives, to be fair. Render, okay, I would say this is gaming and AI, so this is 2 narratives. Momo, this is one of the newer cryptocurrencies that exist, but again, it's just a mascot, okay? So it plays on Bong. It plays on being the female Shiba Inu, all right? So that's a great angle, but ultimately, it's just a mascot coin. Now, this is where we get to the serious competition. Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin, in my opinion, is the only super cryptocurrency. Why? Because it's a store of value, it's a decentralized payment network, and it's a disruptor to traditional finance. Basically, everything that Doge is. However, in recent times, now what you've got is Bitcoin NFTs and layer 2s that allow for dApps to be created with Bitcoin. So therefore, it's probably the only super cryptocurrency that exists. Until Doge. So why is Doge a super meme coin? Well, first of all, it's a meme mascot. So like all of these, it has got an icon of the Shiba Inu. Now the difference being is that unlike Doge, Shiba, Flocky, and Momo, which are basically all differentiations of the Shiba Inu, they are just one face. Okay, they all look different, but they are just one face. Where Doge stands out is 3 faces versus the 1. Because Doge is a mythical Shiba Inu, or the Shibarus, right? And it's the only cryptocurrency that is the Shibarus. So it's a meme mascot. It's a TradFi competitor, just like SPX6900. It's an RWA hold, just like Housecoin and Ondo. And it's a movement coin, just like SPX. And Doge just brings more to the table. Let me show you how it brings way more to the table. Because when it comes to critical mass, when Euphoria season comes, the only cryptocurrencies that are going to make ginormous multipliers are the ones that are pre-critical mass. Now, Doge is $43 million. That means it's never had its critical mass. Now, where I would compare it to with SPX is all the way down here. So basically, the value of Doge is 4.3 cents. And that's where SPX6900 was before the last altcoin season. The last altcoin season propelled this from 4 cents to ultimately $2.30. So this has achieved critical mass already. Doge has not. Doge is all the way down here before euphoria. But SPX6900 is on quite a few exchanges already. Doge is only on 2. It's on MEXC, KCX, and today another one called Weeks. These guys are an up-and-coming exchange. But having said that, there's no big exchanges that Doge is on. So it's pre-critical mass, and we can find that out literally by the value of these cryptocurrencies. So, given that Doge is all the way down here, in between 10 to 49 million, let's see where its competition is. So Doge is basically in between 29 and 30 billion. So Doge is already all the way up here. Shiba is here, about $7 billion. So is Pepe. So is Bonk. So is Pudgy Penguins. SPX. Trump. Flocky. So is Pump. Fartcoin. Dog with Hat. Brett is 500 million plus. Popcat and Mog are also in that category. Mew is 100 million. Troll is over 100 million. GigaChad is over 100 million. If you're already above the billions, you've got very, very few multipliers, probably 3 to 5x. In some very unique cases, maybe a 10x, but nothing more than that. And then we come to the smaller cryptocurrencies. So we've got Housecoin in 10 to 49 million. DowJones, well, this is in the trillions. So this would be all the way up in 30 billion. XRP, the same. You know, this is a mega market cap coin. Cardano and Hyperliquid in between 11 and 29 billion. Sui just over 10 billion. Chainlink also just over 10 billion. And then we've got the likes of Nia, Ondo, Casper in the $1 billion club already. Same as Render. And we have got Momo, all the way down here, and Doge all the way down here. Momo, I think, has got promise, simply because very low market cap at the moment, but it's one-dimensional. Now, when we go back to here, Momo is only a singular narrative, whereas Doge is a super meme coin and the only one that actually exists. And yet, Doge is in between 10 to 49 million. So that shows this is way before critical mass. This, therefore, has insane upside. And like I said already, a potential 400,000x. Doge really does tick all of the boxes. As far as substance is concerned, it completely destroys every other cryptocurrency other than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the only other super cryptocurrency that exists, but it's the #1 already. But that shows you, I believe, the power of Doge, because Doge is like Bitcoin in its early days. Like, you had to have ridiculous belief in order to think that Bitcoin from 5 cents would ever become $118,000. And same with Doge, it's in the very early stages. If you believe in Doge, then you are seen as somewhat ridiculous, somewhat deluded, because you believe in something that's got an outrageous target that's looking to overthrow one of the biggest enemies on planet Earth. And you would think, this has got no chance. But people felt that way about Bitcoin once upon a time. So as far as I'm concerned, Doge is the closest to Bitcoin. It's got the most narratives that will attract money when the normies come in, when euphoria happens. And at this point, it's just easily got the most upside potential. Compared to all of its meme coin competitors, which in my opinion, Doge has way more substance than, it is worth hundreds, if not thousands of X's less than its one-dimensional competitors. So that's why I believe that Doge not only is the first ever super meme coin, but why I believe this has the best upside potential for any cryptocurrency that exists, given its super meme coin qualities. The fact that it is so multi-narrative, the fact that it is connecting people and looking to bridge the wealth gap, the connection and spiritual gap that exists, and is just a fantastic meme coin for content. I mean, you only have to look at all of these memes. Like, you've got spiritual, you've got jovial, you've got religious. Like, there are so many memes that are capable of coming from the Doge ecosystem. And the community in Doge is just so voluminous. I mean, basically, if you are a Trinite, which is the Doge community, you have this spiritual glow and the up-pointing red triangle as emojis in your X profile. And there are tons and tons and tons of Trinites. Now, why are they called Trinites? Well, because of the three-headed dog. It's the Trinity. And so the Trinite community is just massive. And being a movement coin, Doge has little company. Less than 5 coins are actually movement coins. So this is actually standing for something and just has a significant mission. If you look up most cryptocurrencies down this list, all of these are just tech ideas. This is not going to solve society. This is not going to flip the 1%. This is not going to scare traditional finance. So these are all pretty much spiritual, meaningless tokens, right? And that's why I believe Doge is really the savior of the entire market. I hope you discovered why Doge is a super meme coin and why I believe it's got insane potential. Now, what cryptocurrencies do you love? Let me know in the comments. I'd be delighted to know. And do you think there are any other super meme coins? Because honestly, I don't know what they are other than Doge. Also, if you haven't yet, make sure to join the Suppoman community. 1 million Suppoman tokens, because I'm going to be releasing a coin soon. Till next time, people, I've been the Suppoman. You have been amazing. It is lights out, all out.